For the record, J. Cage again, you know what I'm saying? Live in the flesh, the living man, here to represent wealthication. You know what I'm saying? Today's subject is employment agreement. And employment agreement is really, how they would say, big. And I don't mean big like, oh, this is some big shit we're talking about. But what it do is it protects you from being a pure owner of your entity. Okay? So what I'm going at with this, meaning like, you know, we sometimes we get caught up, and I never did. When I first had one of my LLCs, I always looked at myself as the founder and the person that's gonna get the company up. So I never titled myself CEO and all this on my profile, Instagram, and all that. But understand, an LLC don't come as a president, CEO, and treasurer like a corporation, right? So you could amend it, right, and change it to your CEO and that. But a CEO is somebody that has to be responsible for day-to-day operation that's governing the rest of the executives and the employees and so forth and so on. So with that being said, if we're going to speak CEO over our companies, etc., like me personally, I want to hire a CEO, right? I want to give somebody else that leverage and that ability and that title to be in a public face. But for right now, if I have to be the president, CEO, etc., that's what it is. So right here, we're just going into this right here, okay? Employee agreement for the company. See, if you notice something, I break down things in the company form, because when I first started understanding how to write business plan, I kept noticing the format I was filing, it kept saying the company. The company separates from saying we and all that. Now, you can still use we and all that, but when I used to write business plans, I had to write the company. And I'm going to tell you why in another time. So I got the company. So now when you set your entity up, LLC, corporation, whatever it is, you know, you did a trust, you know, you should be the, you know, the seller to that, you know, operating again as the trustee. And, you know, if you want to operate in privacy as the beneficiary, that's so far, that's another subject. We're going to keep it kind of general based on public moving for right now, because the trust is a private held subject to, like a Delaware corp is a private held subject to. But we're not comparing the trust with a Delaware structure. That's not what I'm saying. But we're talking about LLC or corporation. So now we're talking about, it's going to be three things that you're going to be operating under or more. It's going to be one, president. We're going to check this one off. Bam. Or CEO. Okay. Or chairman, which is me, chairman. Right. And for real, the president and the CEO is the same. That's why you look at the country structure. The president is nothing but the CEO in disguise. Like every state have a governor and nothing but a CEO. And they title things in different words to throw people off, not to really look at it as on a corporation or corporate structure. Like it's not business, and everything in life is dealing with business. So with that being said, if it's either all, you're going to put all, above, etc. So now you might be the chief operating owner, or the chief operating, what other title? There's so many titles I put on illustrations to, it's crazy. You know, you create your own titles for you and yourself and other people. So now what I'm getting at, why you want to create your employment agreement? Because now people always speak on, you set an LLC up, it separates you from your personal assets, which is true. But the problem is, if we don't create an agreement saying that I am the employee, right? Because if you understand what I'm saying, the ones that I set up, it don't come with standard, or maybe I didn't do something right. But when I had my real estate agent set up my entities, I don't see a form in the bylaws or the operating agreement for the entity, right? So I start knowing something, right? You have to create your own employee agreement that is, you the CEO, like me, I'm the chairman, over the board or whatever it may be. So you got to have that already documented and probably, you know, registered Secretary of State, however that may work for your situation. And what I'm saying is, not if anything was to happen, you're not looked at as a peer owner. Because see, if you don't got this agreement to a certain extent, they could pierce the veil, look at you like you operating under this company. And on top of you don't got other members, it could say it's a dummy corporation too. So that's why I say you want to always have a few people as members, as family, whatever it is, to protect you in case something was to go wrong. They can't look at it like it's just a one owner operating business too. So that's why to keep multiple members behind the scenes as the board, the directors, and so forth and so on. So with that being said, you understand that when you have the employee agreement that is tied you as the president of your company, the CEO, the chairman, or whatever it is. You understand? Every you filing, well, I keep using the word file. I'm sorry because I'm so used to filing things in the legal perspective, but I'm talking about applying. When you start applying for loans and business credit cards and things, whatever dealing with your company, you know, you always want to make sure that you're the president, and you want to sign maybe by agent if you want to go into the private or certain UCC code that may protect you. You want to be a sick individual, you know what I'm saying, like I am on the private side. But the point is, you want to distinguish yourself from the individual. I understand they didn't tighten up on their rules because I was called, I don't want to do a PG either, but you know, the difference from a corporate credit and business credit. A corporate is considered $4 million or more in revenue. So if you don't have a company that's making $4 million, you gonna probably always find yourself PG and things to a certain extent. I'm not saying you can't get it done out of PG because I'm big. I don't want PG shit. But the point is, okay, you want to make sure that you actually sign it for the entity you operating or running or controlling as the president and CEO. But you still gonna need an agreement behind the scene that if anything was to come after you, anything go wrong, you could pull your agreements out saying, no, I work for the company. I'm not the owner. Because see, if we ain't got this, they're gonna look at you as the owner. And when you're the owner, you accepting all the liabilities. You know what I'm saying? Now, there's ways around the LLC, the corporation is a separate entity from you. But if you understand the agreement I'm talking about, you're gonna think that I'm just talking, blowing smoke in your but I'm not. Because I'm here to tell you that one thing you don't want to do, you don't want to own nothing. So the thing is, you work for your company. You own nothing. No pure ownership should be omitted. That's all. That's the catch right there. You know, we get caught using the word own and all these, but that keep putting us in liability. And if you want to accept liability, that's cool. You better understand accept it for value. But if you want to accept if you want to accept ownership, be ready to accept responsibility, liability, and all that. But if you offset it, the liability match the offset, so there's nothing wrong with liability. That ain't what I'm saying. A lot of people say assets over liability, but you understand the banking system is set up on accruing accounting, meaning accruing account work liability to assets, meaning when they do the books, when they take a deposit of 50 to 100, is their liability and the asset because they double book interest keep it. But that's another subject for another time. But that's the banking system, right? But what I'm saying is you want to protect yourself, man, and you want to create your employee agreement ASAP, because I'm doing it ASAP, and I've been doing it for a long time now. And the problem is that when you set these beautiful entities up, and maybe you could tell me how they come standard, because I guess how the state make more money, because you got to come back and you got to create all these agreements that go, because when you set it up, it's a template they give you. It's generic. It's an operating agreement or bylaws, and then you got to come back and get an attorney or somebody that's better than you, you know, and then you got to admit what you want in it. So that's what's going on. So today's subject, like I said, was employment agreement. Employee agreement let you know that you work for the company. You're not the owner of the company. Stop it with the bullshit, man. Stop the man. We don't own nothing no more. We was taught that in the past. You know, you want to own this, you want all that. You don't want to own all that no more. You just want to control it. And that's why I say you own nothing. You own nothing on paper. Behind the scenes, you own it. How you doing it in private, but in public, you own nothing. You're using anonymous corporations and LLCs, Delaware, Wyoming, or I don't know about Nevada still, but you got multiple states that let you move anonymous to your offshore account. So you try to stay anonymous as you can to keep people out of your business, because business should be private first, then it should be public how you want it to be in the public. You want to be looked at a certain way for different purposes. But go ahead, get with me, and this is what I'm breaking down today. Today's subject was about employment agreement. Peace. I'm out.